What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shelby Claymo podcast. This is a podcast where we are going to talk about everything. Like literally nothing is off limits. We are figuring out business, life, religion, and motherhood all at one time. I am a small town girl chasing a big old dream that's here to let you in on this entire journey as I completely surrender to Jesus and let him guide me on what he has next. This podcast is going to be filled with raw solo episodes from yours truly. I'm going to bring you along on the journey every week of what I have going on, as well as I'm going to interview big brand names, aka women that have done what I am doing, that are willing to get unfiltered and raw with us to bring you along on their journey as well. Guys, I hope you freaking love this podcast. I am here just to be a girlfriend, a friend, a mentor, whatever it is, to let you know that you are not alone in this journey called life and building a business and chasing your God-given talent. Guys, welcome to the Shelby Claymo podcast. Let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome to the Shelby Claymo podcast. After a while, I have decided to fully just rebrand the podcast to my name, because what other brand am I building than who I am and my authentic self to you? Because I do believe, especially going into, I know I've kept saying this in 2024. I think I said this a lot in 2025. I'm saying this in 2026, but having a personal brand and people trusting you on a whole nother level for them to buy from you, whatever business it is that you have, is so much more important now than it ever has been. And so I have decided, and I had this super big tug for a while now. I was just too scared to change it to my name, because ultimately I was like, who the hell does she think she is that she could just name her podcast her name? Second, how dumb is that? Are people going to find it? But in reality, this is just for the people that want to listen, the people that want to learn, the people that want to be along on this journey with me, because boy, am I about to get even more raw. And the last few weeks have shown me what true surrender is, what grit is, and what scary things and decisions that I've had to make kind of feels like relief. And I'm super excited to share it with you. So my goal for the podcast now, with the relaunch, with the rebrand, with the new relaunch and everything, is honestly just to get down to the nitty-gritty, to really be an open book, to be an advocate for people that are truly leaning into their God-given purpose, that they're scared, they don't know what they're doing, and they're just freaking uncomfortable. Because ultimately the thing is with this is, when you lean into your God-given purpose, you are uncomfortable because you don't know what you are doing. You are following and fully surrendering. And that is honestly what is so exciting about this journey. And I am going to be interviewing some of my dearest friends to help you guys get to see me more in a light, where I'm more interview styled. And then I'm also going to be interviewing some really awesome human beings. I have some people that are lined up that I did not think for a second I would be able to get on this podcast, and just to ask the questions that, we want to know as growing entrepreneurs and businesswomen and mothers and wives and friends and daughters and whatever it is that you are and where you are in your season. We want those questions answered, right? And how do we get there? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Is there failure, and how do we overcome it? And obviously not is there failure, because we know that there is, but what is the things that could or might happen, and how did they kind of get through it? So I'm super excited. I felt this really big pull in my heart about, really leaning into the real, raw, honest version of everything. And I've always been really good at giving you guys the real, raw aspect of who I am. And I've always had this little bitty hesitation, because people do look at you funny if you give too much or you look like you're a hot mess or whatever. But I feel on my heart that I am called to give you all the mess, to bring you along as much as I can on the journey that I am going through, what I'm walking into in 2026. And I'm super excited. And if I was hesitant at first, because I almost was like, oh, what if people judge me? What if I lose people? What if, but what if it helps people? What if it succeeds? But what if it does fail? What is the worst that can happen, right? And so if I didn't do this, then I would never know. And so I figured, why not literally record an episode that's called The Truth, the Pause, and what God has been doing behind the scenes, because God is beautiful. And I might cry and I might get emotional, but I want to just share so much with you. And I wrote it down. So this episode might be a tad different, just because I might sound like I'm reading or whatever. But ultimately, I want to make sure that I cover all the basis of what I've been dealing with for the last few weeks, because I haven't even put out a podcast episode in a bit. But I'm super freaking pumped about 2026. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of podcasting. I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of the dot game because I gave up social media for 2 weeks. And I've done a lot of the hard decisions of shutting part of my businesses down and just going all in on what we want and what we want to go in 2026. So if you're ready, I want to just tell you up front that if you are looking for a perfectly packaged like comeback story and podcast and relaunch, like that is not it. If anything, I want to literally rip the layers back, peel back the onion even more and let you guys in on what the hell has been going on in my world. Because it's been a whirlwind, especially since DGML. Like after DGML, it's so wild because it feels like DGML was so long ago, right? And it was literally like not even 2 months ago. It was like a month ago, a little over, almost, no, 2 months ago at this point. And it was such a freaking great DGML this time, y'all. We had so many collaborations. And I know I say that every year, but like this year was beyond me. When I hear the revelations, when I hear the partnerships, when I hear the collaborations that have happened just since DGML and like legit monetary connections that have gotten people clients or they know someone, it is truly mind-blowing. And it really does set the tone of the importance of getting in a room and networking and getting to know people and letting them know this is how I can help you and cutting the bullshit and just getting to the point, right? And so the truth of the matter with everything is the last few months have been very uncomfortable. I've had a huge pull at my heart with certain things. I've had do I want to continue this? How is that going to look? What do I want to do? Right? And it was the moments of like quiet, it was stretching. And honestly, it was honestly very humbling because I necessarily didn't believe that I needed what I needed so much. And I did. And when I tell you, I was like, this is probably like the most rock bottom I've ever been. And for me to easily delete social media and just not even care about it was scary. Because it's my job. It's what I do. It's really what I'm good at. And I love marketing for people. But my mindset and what I've gone through in the last few months have been very hard. Very, very hard. And on paper, y'all, it looks so great. But behind the scenes, it was literally God rearranging everything. Okay, let me paint the picture. Do you know those things that happen to you and you're like, what the heck? Like, whether it's you lose a client or, the business venture didn't work out or you're going through a breakup or your kids are sick and you couldn't do something and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Like, why? Everything seemed to be fine. And all of a sudden you got blindsided. And, in that moment, you don't know, and you aren't guaranteed to ever understand or know, and you don't have the right to know, right? But it's really hard for us as human beings to wrap our brain around why don't we know? Why can't we know? Why do we not know, right? It's ultimately God knowing what your path is and where you're going. So he's making freaking room. I've always said this, like he's making room for the next opportunity. So whether it's a no, whether it's a bad news, whatever it is, there's something coming and he knows the path that you're on. Right. And so we have to understand and take that with faith and full surrender. And that is what I learned this holiday season, which first off, it was very magical timing, even though it was at very, 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 very lows, like very lows. And so I know there's a lot of people that say that, and I one day might be able to give you like examples, but that is not going to happen right now. But I will tell you this, like, if you are feeling heavy, if you are feeling a pull, if you are feeling like, there is more, but it's scary, or if you shut this down because it makes you money, you're not going to survive or whatever. I want to tell you this. I want you to pray about it and journal about it and follow your gut, AKA surrender, and let God lead you to where you're going next. So let's start with business here, right? Probably right before DGML, I was like, we need 2 more clients because I'm like a freak when I do my projections. And I have a basic Excel document. Obviously, Barbara is like my right-hand girl when it comes to my financials. And I love her and I would recommend her to quite literally anyone listening to this. But I've always had an Excel document, and it has the name of our clients, it has the months they signed, and it has the amount that they're paying. So I know every month what they're actually paying, and I know what's like projected to come in, right? And so I knew going into quarter 2, I was like, okay, well, I would like to comfortably sign 2 more clients, right? And this was knowing something was going on in my gut that was like, okay, I just want 2. Well, we really focused on that, and blessingly, we signed 12 in the last quarter. And before you say, "Holy crap, Shelby, that's amazing," it is and it isn't, because there are some, we probably have like 9 that actually stuck around, maybe 8 that actually stuck around, because there was a couple that just didn't align. We signed, maybe we went through the onboarding process, maybe it was a mutual agreement, maybe it was something different where we just didn't proceed forward. Um, and this season of my life, I've finally been able to just be okay with that. I've always been to the point where, like, if we've signed someone or we didn't sign someone or we lose someone or whatever, then I would be down and out and be like, oh my God, my business is failing. How am I going to make payroll? What are we going to do? And like, I am truly in a season of full surrender where it was okay. And the old me literally would have spiraled with the ones that left, because not only did we sign 12 clients, we also lost clients in the last quarter, which is normal coming in, the fourth quarter and all those things. But we lost one client in particular that just rattled me a little bit more than I thought, right? And I'm the type of person, and I literally tell people this. And this is the one client that's going to this is going to lead me into what's next. But I always tell people this, like, I am a huge advocate for feeling your feelings, feeling what you're dealing with. Like, literally, I'm like, get on the floor and cry it out. I'm like, get in your car, listen to what you have to do, cry it out, go box, go work out, you get angry, like whatever it is, because 2025 really took me through a roller coaster. And as we go through 2026, I'll unpack all of these things. But, it when things happen to you that are so shocking or left field or not how you expected, I believe that you should be able to feel it. And I'm the type of person that I feel it and then I'm moved on. Like, I'm done. Like, it's good. I think that, people come in your life for a reason in a season. I think that there's times where clients do come and they do leave. And I've been proud of every single client, whether they leave or whether they stay. And I know that we work really hard. And I also know that we admit when we do things wrong. And so I allowed myself to feel it probably more than I should have. It got dark for a little bit. I had really great friends. I have really great friends. And I have a really good staff, that I got to the point that I'm very self-aware. I've done a lot of work where I'm self-aware now of, it's time to do something, because this is not okay. And I was not okay. And for me to realize that about myself and then be able to lean on my friends and my team is just a blessing. It's something that I've worked 4.5 years for it to be a blessing. And so I'm grateful. So I literally got off social media and I was at Woods End and I was like, I just got to get out of here. Like, I got to leave. Like, I don't know if you're listening to this, if you ever felt like this, but you feel like you're suffocating, right? So John, the kids were about to get out of school. John was in Oklahoma hunting. And I was like, I never do things like this. So you knew something was up, right? I was off social media. Kids were about to be home. My husband's gone. I have to leave. I booked a flight to New York City to bring my kids to go see the Christmas lights. It was a Tuesday. We left Friday, and I brought my parents with me. And that was the best decision I ever made. If I would have thought about that even more, I probably wouldn't have gone. But I think it saved me, my mindset and everything, to just be present, be with my kids, be proud that I was able to do that, bring my parents, all of those things. And I just want to tell all of you that business is hard. Life is hard. Motherhood is hard. Being a wife is hard. Sometimes when things don't go our way, it's ultimately God just removing the things that aren't good for you anymore, or He's removing things that you didn't know needed to leave, or He's removing things because He said enough is enough and it's time for the thing to go. And so I, clear as day, on the way to New York, was playing the dot game because I didn't even bring my computer because normally if I'm flying, I work on the computer, on the plane, or I'm scrolling or whatever. I actually work. I just didn't even bring my computer. I didn't have social media, so I couldn't scroll on my phone. So I literally connected to the internet, played the dot game, and I did the internet thing so I could like text. And I get this email. And the moment I can tell y'all more about this email, I will, but I screamed, made my mother unbuckle her seatbelt, fully turn around. In the meantime, as she's doing that, I'm texting Emily, like, look at my email, look at my email, look at my email. Holy crap, this cannot be real. What is going on? I'm texting John, holy crap. And he's like, never do that again while you're in the air and it's not working. And like thinking back to that moment is wild. It's wild because of the opportunity that I get. And I sat back and I said, this is what God was doing. He got rid of things that were sucking energy or draining me or causing me too much time. And He's placing this huge life-changing opportunity in front of my eyes. And I just sat there. And in that moment, I remember being like, thank you, Jesus, for this life, for these boys and my kids. I remember Henry saying like, Mommy, why are you crying? Are you okay? And I remember saying, baby, I just want you to know that when you work really hard for something and you stay consistent, it can happen. And even though in that moment, as he's playing his game, like he didn't understand it, he just smiled really big. And like, it was just so, so good. It was, so I want you to know this. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but like, I want you to know this. There are exits that don't make sense until later. There are no's that are actually your protection. And there are doors closing that are preparing you for bigger ones that are opening, even when you don't understand it in the moment, because truly that is what happened to me in this exact moment. I'm telling you, ask my friends, don't ask my friends. They're not going to tell you. And I'll probably maybe regret telling you all this later. But when I tell you, what is coming is what you pray for. Where you're walking is what your old self prayed for. So just be grateful and be present where your feet are, because you are literally walking in the path and the purpose and then the life that God has intended for you. And it's so beautiful when we step away from social media, when we stop letting people that literally don't matter in our brain and live rent free. When you try to impress other people, you impress no one, because ultimately they probably don't think about you. And me getting off of social media, I've been consumed with social media for 4.5 years. So like my mindset is really screwed, but like I'm doing the work. And like I have even went the other day and I removed like 800 people that I follow, because it's nothing to do with them and it has everything to do with me. What is going to protect me? What is going to keep my mindset correct, safe, energized? Because 2026, I'm going all in. Because what is the worst that can happen? People are going to judge me. They already do that. And this is the thing that I also realized. I am the villain in people's story, and that is okay. And at first that was like a dagger to my heart, because I try to be kind and, understanding and all the things. Because when you're building a business, when you're building a brand, you are going to rub people the wrong way. You're going to annoy people. They're not going to agree with it. They, may have had run-ins with me. They may have been in my life when I wasn't where I am now, and all the things that I've learned. And so I do believe that the last few weeks have just been absolutely life-changing, mind-blowing, and I've realized that, and this is so funny because I heard Daryl Andiner say this for one of her interviews, and she's like, she doesn't want to be a cool girl. Her brand, like Nudes, isn't for the cool girls. She wants it to be for all the girls. And I literally am so for that, especially when it comes to social media, because I don't want to be a cool girl. I want to be a girl and a woman that's building a business that welcomes all of you, that cheers loud for every one of you, that doesn't just put cryptic things on the internet. I want to tell you how it is. I want to show you, I want to bring you along on the journey. I want you to feel like you know me. And when I meet you, I want to give you a freaking hug and tell you, keep going, because what you are chasing and what you are doing is worth every single thing that you are going through. And that the people that are stopping you, or the people that you think that have an opinion of you or that do have an opinion of you, they do not matter, because what matters is what's sacred to you. And if they are not sacred to you, then they should not live rent-free in your brain. Gosh, I never thought 2 weeks off social media would literally do this to me, but I've seen things happen over and over again in my life. And yes, even things look like a loss in the moment, and you feel like a failure in the moment, and you feel like you're going nowhere in the moment. But I'm here to tell you that it is just your protection for what is coming, because there's a huge opportunity coming. So consistency is key. Showing up authentic is key. Going into 2026 is key. And so this is what some of the big things I'm going to tell you that's happening in my life. We're shutting down the membership. So DGMM is going away. I thought it was going to be something that was just massive. And I thought, people would love it and understand it and appreciate it. And I have some really great members right now. And I've had some really great members in the past, but it's just my energy is not there. And so we made a really hard decision last week to shut it down completely after January 31st. It'll no longer be anything. I have also decided officially there will be no more DGML. I know I've talked about it. I know I've hinted at it, but I officially said no more. I am very gifted at speaking. I know when I get up there that it's definitely my God-given purpose. And I'm not saying that it'll never happen again, but I'm in a season now where it has to be the right opportunity. I don't want to say never. It has to be the right opportunity. It has to make sense for me and my family, and it has to make me money. And so that door is kind of closed at the moment as well. And it's scary because I loved it. And it's scary because DGMM got me exposure and I met people and I made a good bit of money on it. And it was just great. But it's not filling my cup anymore. It's not giving me the energy that I thought it would. And they always say when you do too many things, you're not really good at one. And so the agency is really kicking ass and I'm really excited and we're really good at that. And so we're really going all in on that. I'm going all in on, a lifestyle brand for you guys and sharing more about what I love and what you need and what's going to do great for you in your life, whether that's marketing, whether that's clothes, whether that's skincare, whether that's my favorite things, whatever that is. I'm just going to show up raw. I want it to be fun. Especially with this huge opportunity that I have coming. I am potentially doing something really big. So I can't really tell y'all that yet, but don't worry because it's something really new and it's really scary. And I've never, ever, ever, ever done it like this. So I've had to Google a lot and I have my attorneys and all of these things. And so I'm really excited about that. And so, yeah. I'm really excited about this new podcast journey. I'm really excited about showing up raw and real. I don't know if the episodes are going to be in the car or in my office or just a sweet voice memo to all of you. But I want them to stay just like business women, girlfriends chatting and talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. And honestly, sharing the raw with y'all doesn't scare me. it doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't. And I have some really cool brands that I'm going to speak to, and we already have some in the works. We already have them on the schedule. I'm going to make a trip out to LA and I'm going to interview a whole bunch at once. Um, I'm just really excited. I'm ready to level up the business. I'm ready to hit the next level. And this is what I will tell you guys. I literally, systems, if they weren't in place, I wouldn't have been able to spontaneously go to New York with my kids and be off of social media for 2 weeks. It's my bread and butter. It's literally what we do. If I didn't have a team that I have that believes in me, it is insane and it feels so good. We had a meeting and I literally almost was in tears the Monday after Christmas. We all still met. They still wanted to meet. And we just like poured into each other about what we're excited about and just the love and excitement that they have for SCM and the plans that they have for SCM is really freaking cool. And I'm going to tell you this, if you want to get off social media, you should. The thing with it is, yeah, I wasn't there and I wasn't on stories, but we had a plan and a strategy. So stuff never stopped posting and it never stopped working because there was a plan in place. And so I just think that you guys listening to this are bigger than anything that you can ever imagine. So please don't let anybody tell you any different. Preserve your energy and tell the people that believe in you or that are dreamers as well your dreams and aspirations. Don't get discouraged if you have family or friends or people that don't necessarily get it yet. And you always have me. So if you ever want to send me a DM or whatever it is, do it. I'm here for you. I love all of you. And I just want to let you know what the season is about. And it's alignment over approval, obedience over optics, and depth over noise. And it's changing because I've changed. I'm a completely different person, and I'm going to be interviewing some of my closest friends so you can see that. And I told them that no questions are off limits, so I'm excited. I'm not interested in being perfect or pretending that everything is perfect. I'm not interested in teaching from a pedestal. I'm just like all of you. I'm learning and we're growing and we're doing things together. And I'm definitely not interested in building anything that God didn't ask me to carry or that isn't leading me into that direction. I'm living through his full purpose and my full potential, and I'm trusting it. And I'm truly surrendering. This space is going to be raw. It's going to be honest, and it's going to be something that it might be uncomfortable. And I don't know how you're going to take it. I don't know if anybody's going to listen. I don't know, but it's going to be real, and I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep talking, and I'm going to interview some really badass people. And I'm really excited. So if you're in a season where it doesn't make sense, maybe God is just making room for you and he's bringing something bigger for you, or he's protecting you for something. So thank you all for listening and welcome to this new chapter of my life. I'll talk to you soon.